Hi, this is James Gray, Chief Product Officer at Products That Count. Well, I'm really excited today to be able to share with you a practical playbook you can use on your journey to becoming a product led organization and winning as the market leader. Play number one, design and build a category defining product that is different. Now, your number one job to become a category king is to change the way people think. And if you can change the way people think, you're going to influence their buying behavior. The key to this play is you're going to need to do three things at the same time. You're going to need to have a great category, a great product, and a great company, all working together to change the way people think. So let's start at the bottom, category design. This is where you're going to carefully create and design a brand new category that you name. We then go to product design to create and design a great product or experience that ultimately delivers on the promise and solves the problem that the category was built for. We're then going to move to company design. This is where you're going to design a business model and organization with a culture that aligns with the point of view of the category. So let's get into looking a little bit closer around the process to create and design a new category. This is the category design process. And at the top, you'll see it's got one phase, and at the bottom, it's second. At the top, we call this the category strategy process. And at the bottom, that's around kind of mobile and execution of the strategy. So for category strategy, you're first going to define the problem. You're then going to name the specific category, such as Salesforce did with Cloud CRM. You're then going to design a blueprint in a broader ecosystem around how this new category is going to fit. And then finally, it's going to culminate with a document called the point of view. And this is a very simple one-page document with very clear words around the problem, around the implications of the problem, and this new thing that you're going to be bringing to market. Once you've got the point of view document, you're going to then transition to the lower part of the process into execution, where the organization is going to deliver marketing message, and then it's going to culminate with an event called the lightning strike that is going to bring this brand new category to life. So let's get into actually seeing what an example could look like for the point of view document. The point of view story is actually really clear. It starts with a very clear problem. It talks about the new thing, the new category that you're designing, and ultimately the promise that you're going to deliver on. So let me take you through the example for Products That Count and how we applied this. The problem that we went after was ineffective product management that can lead to failed product launches, lost engineering throughput, and ultimately significant missed revenue for an organization. The new thing that we created, the product category, was called a product acceleration platform that enables any organization to learn the craft of product management through a personalized, scalable approach. And then finally, our promise to product leaders was to help them turn their product teams into a competitive advantage and ultimately accelerate their revenue and their path to market leadership. So remember, to become a category king, they sell us on different, not better. So what we did as an example, we outlined three pillars to differentiate our product strategy. First one was around breadth of world-class content that we actually refresh daily. Second was a depth of content across geographies, industries, and different phases of the product lifecycle. And then we also recognize that product managers need to stay sharp. And so we have a progressive type of capabilities that allow product managers and product leaders up their game continuously through a personalized approach. So think about how you're going to make it very, very clear to your customers of how you're different, not necessarily better. Let's now talk a little bit more about the lightning strike. Remember, the lightning strike is an event that you're going to hold to bring this category to life and condition the market to ultimately think differently. Let's start at the top. The first thing that you're going to do is to evangelize the category problem first. Here, leading up to the event, you're going to be delivering marketing message to get a clear focus around the problem, the implications of the problem, and why is a different solution needed to actually solve that problem. What you're going to do second is you're going to then bring some light to the product that ultimately you have in that category that is best positioned to solve that problem. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to identify all of the category stakeholders that ultimately need to be influenced to take them from a familiar world that they know today to a new world that ultimately changes their buying behavior. The third thing you're going to do is spark the category to life with the actual lightning strike event. Let's talk about play number 2. Craft a great story to make your customer the hero. And so what we've done here, we've adopted the storytelling framework from the book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. So the story starts at the beginning with a character, and that character is your customer. And principle number 1 here is that the customer is the hero, not you. Now, your customer has a problem. Principle number 2, we know that customers buy solutions to internal problems. So think about the category problem that you've defined. And ultimately, this is where they're going to need to feel the pain personally to buy your product. Now, your customer is going to need a guide. That's you. And remember, they're looking for a guide, not another hero. And you, as the guide, are going to give them a plan. And the principle here, principle number 4, is customers are going to trust a guide who has a plan. Now, what you're going to need to do is, since customers don't take actions by themselves, you're going to need to challenge them in action in step 5 of your story. In step 6 of your story, this is where you're going to kind of save them from the things and be clear about what you're saving your customer from that ultimately will bring them to step 7 in your process, which is where you're going to take them. And don't assume here that your customers know what the impact is going to be and how your brand is actually going to change their business or their life. Which takes us to play number 3, communicate a clear story using a sales funnel to grow your business. And we've adopted, in our case, some great principles from the book, Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. And there's actually 5 key points to this methodology, and I'll cover them, and then I'll kind of show you and talk about some examples. The first thing you're going to need to do is craft a brand script to clarify that message. And that's what we did in that last step to create a great story. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to take and distill that story into what's called a one-liner that can easily deliver that message to anybody and make it easily understood. Step 3, you're going to design a clear landing page to bring that message to life. So this is on your website. You're going to need to take that PV story and kind of bring it to life. The fourth thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to exchange value on the website to capture email addresses. This is where you're going to give away some things for free in exchange for that valuable email address. And then finally, you're going to send your prospects really helpful emails to help them solve the problem as your guide. Let's talk about the one-liner. This is 2 or 3 sentences that make it really clear what your value proposition is to your prospects. You can think of it as very similar to the point of view document, but really synthesized down to 2 or 3 sentences. It first starts with a very clear, concise problem statement, followed by the solution you have for your customer, and ultimately the result. So let's go back to our example for products that count. The problem that we went after, if you remember, ineffective product management can lead to failed product launches, lost engineering throughput, and then finally, significant missed revenue. The solution we have for our prospects is the most influential product acceleration platform that enables any organization to learn this craft of product management in a personalized, scalable approach. And what we're promising to product leaders is that they can turn their teams into a competitive advantage to accelerate revenue and become the market leader. Now, you can use the one-liner in many places, and I encourage you to do so, such as on your website, your talk track, to make it really easy for prospects to see that you've got something very unique, but also very relevant to their problem. Now that you've got the one-liner and you've got your kind of longer story narrative from the 7 steps of the story, this is where you're going to use those artifacts to design a very clear landing page to bring that story to life. And the structure we have here from the landing of the landing page is from the book Marketing Made Simple, and they describe kind of 10 uh, kind of pieces of the landing page. At the top, you're gonna in the header, you're gonna have very few words around what you have to offer. It's then going to be followed by the stakes. Ultimately, this is what you're saving your customer from. You outline this within that step 6 of your story. And then the value proposition, ultimately, what are the benefits you're promising to your customers? You're going to talk a little bit about yourself as the guide that is best positioned to solve the problem and show some credibility. You're then going to give them a plan, the 3 steps, the couple steps that they're going to use to do business with you. And then the explanatory paragraph is going to have the one liner, which is the simple statement. And if they want to go into detail to really reading the full story, they can do that as well, which is the brand script. That could be followed by a video to, reiterate some of these key points and, establish more of an emotional connection with your prospect. And then you're going to outline the product offerings or the price choices they have, followed by a call to action. There's actually 2 calls to action. The first one is the lead generator, where you're going to exchange value with your prospect and give them something valuable in exchange for that email address. And then finally, the direct call to action, which could be to purchase your product. And then the junk drawer, basically everything at the bottom. Once you get your sales funnel page in place, what you're going to do next is you're going to send your prospects really helpful emails to solve their problem. Now, you're not going to ask for the sale first. What you're going to do is you're going to have a sales campaign around nurturing emails that's going to kind of slowly deliver some really kind of key information about how you, as the guide, can solve their problem. But you're going to offer really some value for free to build up your credibility. And then you're finally going to ask for the sale. And this is going to be an email sequence that you're going to introduce the product. You're going to make it really clear about the world that you're going to take them from and to, and you're going to actually ask for the sale. The third thing that we do at Products Account, for all the email campaigns that we run, we analyze the data and we run different kind of versions, some A/B tests of these of these emails to really optimize email engagement rate. So I encourage you to have an experimentation strategy for your email campaigns as well.